We have to become the person we are meant to be first, to live the life we are destined to live. We all encounter challenges, obstacles, and even dark times on that journey, but we are not alone. This podcast will give all seekers hope and understanding that others have walked that path before us. My guests will share how they overcame the challenges and what helped them turn the corner. Listening to their inspiring stories, get motivated and take action to transform into that amazing person that you really are. Your voice needs to be heard and your message must be shared. My name is Sabine Quenberg and I am your host. I'm glad that you're here to listen to my podcast where you can discover how to become the more incredible version of yourself. Are you ready? Let's get on this journey together. Now, let's dive into our guest interview. My guest today is Kathryn Johnson. Shortly after her birth, she was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, but it didn't let her stop from becoming the wonderful woman she is today. She overcame bullying during her school years. She was fired 6 times from her accounting jobs. But she turned everything around and is now a best-selling author, a public speaker, and a coach. She has 3 degrees and several bronze medals. We met at an online event and I had the privilege to interview her. She is sharing her experience and tips how to deal with the disability, the bullying that came along with it, and she feels that she has been given a gift and she turned this into a way of life. Welcome, Kathryn. How are you today?
I'm fabulous, Sabine. How are you?
Oh, great. I'm so happy that we two connected, and it was quite by coincidence, but I cannot wait to hear your story. But before we go there, can you introduce yourself to my audience and tell us who you are and what you do?
Well, Sabine, I'm a transformational coach, best-selling author, speaker, and I've also had 20 years as a professional accountant and recently shifted careers a little bit. I have a wonderful gift of being born with a disability called cerebral palsy that affects my walking and balance and some coordination. And I've taken that gift and turned it into speaking about overcoming obstacles. I have a book called The Joy of Obstacles. And my philosophy is to take no, you can't and turn it into yes, I can.
I love it. And it reminds me so much on the time that I had a performing arts school, because I always said to my students, we do not allow this dirty 4-letter word called can't. And so they knew it. And I must say, this is the best advice for anybody. But in your case, so tell me, when when did this happen? When were you diagnosed?
I was diagnosed at a few months old. Cerebral palsy is from birth. It
Oh,
has to do with there being lack of oxygen to the brain during or shortly before the birthing process. And, some people would say, oh, how sad. And, it's not always easy. However, from my perspective, I've been given such a beautiful gift because living with cerebral palsy every day of my life has given me a unique perspective of the world. Um, because my walking is different and I do things differently, I've had to be very well organized. So I'm all about efficiency. I've been able to help businesses, reduce their costs and increase their productivity and help their staff be happier Everything I see, there's no such thing as can't. If I want to, I'll find a way.
Can you remember through your childhood um, times that you were seen as differently? And especially children, we know there sometimes you get bullied because you are different. Did you have a hard time during your school years?
Absolutely. Bullying was definitely almost a daily occurrence. And for sure, there were a lot of questions, people called me names, and they made so many assumptions, so many surprising assumptions. The kids would say, "Do you play? You don't play, do you?" Just because I couldn't run and jump like they did, they assumed that I just somehow, I don't know, sat at home and didn't play. And I thought this was ridiculous. Of course I play. I'm just like you on the inside. I just walk differently. I walk on two walking canes. Being able to walk is a beautiful privilege, and I remember that as I go through my day.
Wow, what you just said. Of course, I'm the same as you from the inside. And we all are. We all are just this beautiful creation of God. And we have like different appearances. During that time that you were bullied and people were calling you names and so forth, was there or was there a point that you remember, maybe as kid or teenager or maybe young adult, that you all of a sudden turned the bullying and all the negativity that came towards you into something positive? Was there a moment in your time where you didn't care anymore?
Well, I look upon those times and I wonder why it happened. And I think it happened because people were intimidated. People
Mm.
are afraid of things that are different. And it's unfortunate, but we're trained to be drawn to things that are the same and be afraid of things that are different. And often, people tell me they see me as powerful because I do so many things that in their mind they thought there's no way. Like if I was in Kathryn's shoes, there's no way I'd do half the things she could do. How the heck would I get through my day on crutches, let alone have 3 degrees, 2 bronze medals, a best-selling book, and a coaching practice? Like, how does she do that, right? So I've taught myself that all this bullying early on was just people being a little bit threatened by my difference because they saw themselves as small. And I've learned to see it compassionately, and I've also learned that I don't need to be bullied. And if people are bullying me, the best course of action is to just not be around those people.
Ah, I love what you just said, because this is something, especially in the personal development world, every coach will tell you um, the 5 people that you surround yourself with will determine how you feel and how you move forward in this world. And sometimes we have to just say, I don't want to be around this person. And of course, sometimes family, it makes it a little bit harder, but you still can choose not to spend as much time with them.
Yeah.
But if it's acquaintances or any people that are not on your wavelength or maybe make you feel bad, bye bye. This is
Yeah.
how easy it is. I love that you just said that. And it's not for just for someone with disability or being different or what does it mean anyways? It's for everybody. It's for everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
But what you made out of your life, you have like 3 degrees, have your own coaching business. When did you decide to actually start your own business?
Well, I love that. You just picked on this concept of decision. Everything in life is a decision, and you can look at a situation as either a tragedy or an opportunity, and we have a choice of how we respond. To answer your question, Sabine, in 2017, I had my sixth layoff in a row from accounting, and I decided I need to take some time off and reevaluate. So I took 6 months and I went to California, did some personal growth retreats because at the time one of my passions was pursuing personal growth. And at the end of those 6 months, the last retreat I went to, everybody in the room, it was a meditation group of 10 people, everybody in the room said, Kathryn, you're brilliant. You've got to write a book. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can't write a book. I'm an accountant. What are you talking about? And I thought, because everybody said it, like literally everybody, I thought, I gotta think about this. So I thought about it for a while. And I realized, like, if I write this book, it's going to change my life. I just know that. And I thought, okay, do I really want it? And I decided yes, because at the end of my life, I didn't want, when we review our life, for somebody to say to me, you could have had this, but you wanted to be comfortable. I would rather be uncomfortable and see what's on the other side of an opportunity than stick with the status quo. So the joy of obstacles was born. What am I going
Oh,
to write about? I'm going to write about what I know. The Joy of Obstacles is a self-help memoir. Talks about some key situations in my life, and it gives readers tips on how to deal with certain obstacles. And I hope they enjoyed it. It's available on Amazon in 3 formats: print, ebook, and Audible.
I definitely make sure to put that in the show notes together with your contact information.
Thank you so
Um,
much.
but what you just said is so brilliant. Um, we oftentimes stop because we don't know how to do something, or we think we are just in this one box that someone put us in, and that's where we have to stay. And the opposite is true. Hop into many boxes, many different boxes. And sometimes taking that leap of faith to know I'm not just quote unquote an accountant. I can be an author. I can be whatever I want to be. And that's the beauty of life. And you show this so brilliantly. Um,
Thank you.
did something change after you wrote that book? What was that feeling that you had once you actually saw that book and had that book in your hand?
Yes, I think it happened slowly. It didn't happen overnight. It was definitely an adjustment period. It became a bestseller in 10 days, by the way, on Amazon. So I was pretty excited about that. Um, I just realized, everybody that read my book thought it was awesome and they appreciated it so much. And I thought, wow, I'm writing about my life. It's my life. It's not some unusual idea or concept that no one's heard of. It's what I consider, an everyday. It's very everyday. I take people through my everyday. It's very relatable. And people loved it. And I thought, wow, I can really help people. And then I started speaking, and people were blown away because of how I connect with my audiences. And now I'm coaching, and people are blown away because I can change their life in as little as 8 weeks after working with me. I have an 8-week program. And I'm just realizing that not only can we do different things, we're meant to do different things. Human beings are meant to grow. And the obstacles are given to us to help us grow and connect with other people and discover new depths of who we are. and help other people grow along the way as well.
That was so beautifully said. Everything that you said, they had so many golden nuggets for people to grow and move on and get the courage to do what they wanted to do. When was the first time that you actually spoke in front of an audience? Did you do it just online, or are you also on live stages?
At that time, that was just after my book came out. It was October 2018, and it was live stage in Washington State.
Wow. And what was the feeling for you to go up on that live stage in that moment and speaking for the first time?
It was amazing. It was amazing. It was really, I had so much fun. I had so much fun because I got to connect with people in a way that I couldn't connect with them as an accountant.
Wow.
And I got to talk about things that I was passionate about, not just, do what my boss wanted me to do for my job, but I got to talk about what was really in my heart. And I started to see speaking and all that goes with it as such an opportunity. And many, many people were inspired. I got incredible feedback. My mentors were blown away. I've been asked on many podcasts since then. I'm enjoying speaking to people and meeting many great people such as yourself. And it's just beautiful because it's very natural for me to do this. So it's almost like being reborn, This whole new side of myself just gets to blossom.
Wow. What you just said, that was the perfect ending for this conversation, because that embodies everything that this podcast is all about. You said it's almost like being reborn. And that's what the becoming process is. It's like that caterpillar that had to go through a uncertain time, that metamorphosis, not knowing, really dissolving the old to become this new, the beautiful butterfly. And I can see all of that in you, Kathryn. So
Exactly.
thank you for sharing, and thank you for sharing your story on this podcast. And I look forward to seeing more of you and what you all can accomplish in the future.
Anytime. I'd love to continue the conversation anytime. If anybody wants to connect with me more personally, feel free to reach out to me at inspiredbykathryn.com, Kathryn. And there's a free download available for you, 5 mistakes people make when faced with obstacles.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thanks for sharing, and thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
What a story of overcoming hardship and seeing the silver lining. If you have a story to share that will not only inspire, but also help listeners to understand that we are not alone here on this journey, let me know. Maybe you will be the next one to inspire thousands here on this podcast. We always can grow and become our next greater self. And of course, that will look different for each one of us. Thank you for listening and supporting this podcast. Please share it with your friends on social media so it can inspire and touch as many people as possible. Until I see you again, always remember, follow your dreams, serve from the heart, and live the life you imagine.